Hi there, Internet Associate. It's Anthony, and I'm here again with my good friend.
Highland.
And we're about to watch another episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So this is season 3, episode 15, and it goes by the name Consequences, which sounds like a serious title. You got any ideas for maybe what consequences might be seen?
Seeing as how Faith literally just murdered somebody in the last episode and is kind of trying to fake like she doesn't care about it, I'm assuming that it's going to be something that has to deal with that. Probably the consequences of Buffy and Faith going on their little bender or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll probably be some consequences that, we've kind of been seeing the consequences of Giles interfering with the whole ritual of the Slayer turning 18.
Yeah.
So probably more of the aftermath, of that. I mean, we just got the new Watchers, so maybe his involvement will have some consequences because he says he still seems to be very heavily involved in what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it makes sense to me. I'm looking forward to seeing where this is about to take us. So, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 3, Episode 15, Consequences.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was a dream.
Dreams and their symbolic trickery. Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much.
Clearly Faith didn't do a good job of hiding this body.
It's just terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, when she said weighted it, I thought she meant she like dissolved it in acid.
Oh. Nope.
I just figured that would be the smartest way of getting rid of a body. I didn't think she just literally just threw it in the water.
Yeah. So all my people out there who are fans of Dexter, they know that Faith needs to just take some notes from him. How would you hide a body?
I would feed it to some pigs. So it'll be decomposed in their feces.
I want you to look into this.
And if you ask me, there are better uses for the Slayer's time.
But I don't believe I did ask you.
Considering
Jeez.
success.
And you teach psychology.
I take psychology.
She's a student.
Oh, well. Yes.
I was like, why is he staring at her like...
Really?
What?
She's a high schooler. Calm down.
Written by Marty Nixon.
Noxon.
She isn't she?
Look, if we don't do the right thing, it's only going to make things worse for you.
Worse than jail for the rest of my young life? You're a part of this, B. All the way.
Dang. I guess she is an accomplice.
Hey.
Hey.
I feel like she changes her hair every
I
episode.
saw her around.
Okay.
So see ya.
Dang, that's a consequence right there. Blew off her friend, now her friend doesn't even want to chill anymore.
Time last night?
No, I'm not sure. 7, maybe 8.
Can you be more specific? Say
Oh, so this was last night. That's interesting.
Yeah, it hasn't been much time at all. Uh-oh, and Angel's on the case. Uh-oh. He's putting 2 and 2 together. He caught her red-handed.
Huh. Yes, he did.
Struck right through the heart with a sharp, pointed object now. Word is, someone was fighting vampires not a block away from the scene.
Faith didn't do a good job of
Someone
covering
said
this
the
up
Slayer did
at
this
all.
job.
What, did you talk
I
to
mean,
them?
seriously.
If he
It came out of nowhere.
Do you think that they should tell the truth or just try to keep hiding it?
Hug and cry.
Do I
and
think
grow. I'm just saying
as
it
like
happened
a
quick,
viewer
you know?
of the show, do I think, or as like from an analytical perspective?
You know what? It's just
I guess
blow.
just
Who
an
cares what this guy was
analytical-
about? It's kind of
Let's
blown down,
let's
just
pause
think.
right here.
I don't think he was in that alley by chance.
I
he
think
was looking for us.
I think them having to hide it does more for the plot, so it kind of creates more stuff for them to work with, as if they were to just, as opposed to them just being like, oh yeah, we did it, like, because then you kind of have this like battle between Faith and Buffy, like, oh, should I tell, or oh, should I should we keep it between us, and you kind of get to see those two opposing sides. But do I want them to just tell? Because I kind of do, because like, I mean, I'm a fan of Buffy being the good person and like doing the right thing. So like, I would rather see them just fess up, so it's not like they're hiding it, covering up a murder, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
But I definitely see why they haven't told yet, in context of the writing and like the story.
Yep, it's like good writing always sometimes have to have things you don't agree with, I guess. So
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of vibe you get off a person, because 9 times out of 10, the face they're showing you is not the real one.
I guess you know
Faith
that
has
about
always
that.
been so cynical about people.
But it does not mean that we get to pass judgment on people like we're better than everybody
We
else.
are better.
Oh,
See,
wow.
like, you get to see the
That's right.
battles of
Better.
ideals here.
Yeah.
You need us to survive.
This goes a lot
in the
this
balance,
situation.
Nobody's gonna.
It really kind of
Yeah.
sucks for Buffy, though. Like, her own friends won't even really, like, chop it up with her. But the only person that chops it up with her is, like,
Buffy.
upset.
And I was also thinking how it felt like that also just brought up such a larger conversation or, you know, point of thought for this whole show, in that Buffy being the Slayer and saving all these people, it's like, okay, so where does that put her in terms of like morality and her place with other humans? Is she really above stuff like that? Can Slayers kind of have that leeway to do something that Faith obviously feels like they have? Is doing enough good
Yeah.
in the world enough to offset doing a bad thing here and there? I think it's an interesting question they bring up.
And also, it kind of, like, some of this begs the question, like, how many... has Faith, like, been in this scenario before? Like, she seems to be saying it from a perspective of, like she has experience doing this, or maybe the deaths that she's seen from saving the world have just like desensitized her to deaths at her own hand.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe Faith is just really, I talked about how she's so cynical, and maybe she's just trying to, you know, make this make sense to her in her mind. So even if she's never done anything like this before, she's just trying to take her view of the world and everything that she knows and just say, okay, well, how can I make this make sense, and how can I make myself okay with this? So it's almost like she's trying to, you know, tell herself all this stuff as she's telling
rationalize.
Buffy. Yeah, rationalize. Right, exactly. It's interesting that her name is Faith, considering how little faith she has in people. I was just thinking about that too. Kind of.
Yeah. Nice, interesting juxtaposition there.
If you're protecting someone, I promise you, it'd be better for everyone if you just come clean.
You mean, am I covering for someone?
That'd be messed up if Faith was like, yeah, I know who it is. It's Buffy. I'd be dying.
That would be crazy. They didn't even have a story together or anything.
Infomercial, old movie. Come on now.
Really?
Why is Angel always like tucked off in these corners with like half the light hitting his face?
Given how terrible of a job Faith did of covering it up, like, a detective can figure this out super easily, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like, she really didn't do anything.
I know I've kept things from you before, but in the sense of not attending.
But why was Faith there?
Okay, Buffy. I told him.
Yes, that's why.
You told him?
I had to. He had to know what you did.
I knew it! I'm sorry, just pause for like 1 second. I just had a feeling, bro. I had a feeling after she saw those detectives it was going to get too hot for her, and now she's over here trying to throw Buffy under the bus.
I can't
and now
believe
Buffy's
it.
going to have to deal with this. Faith is... I don't mess with Faith, bro. That's
Oh my
some
gosh.
BS right there. She really just murdered somebody, told Buffy to keep it from everybody, and then snitched on Buffy. Lied on Buffy just straight up to her closest, one of her closest confidants.
You really just laid it out too. That's exactly what she did. And from the start, you haven't liked Faith either. So I guess now you're feeling like you're like, yeah, I had a good sense from the start, huh?
I don't know what gave it away. I was like, she was just talking to that detective, and the way she was talking to him, I was like, the throw herself on the sword thing just kind of gave it away for me. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. You're so like, I'm gonna take the L for the team, but to me, it didn't seem real.
Wow, that and it's funny because you said that, and it sounds like the type of thing where you're like, oh, haha, that's funny. Like that would be so messed up if she did it, but then she turns around and really does it.
Sorry.
Because Faith clearly looks out for herself before anybody else. Like, even her whole motivation behind slaying is different than Buffy's.
I swear. Look, but the murder, it was...
Faith, I know.
Yeah, Giles is smart.
Just to know.
Here go.
Understood?
Oh, snap.
Of course.
I mean, this is extremely delicate. What we're seeing her off now.
Dang. It's like so much irony is happening right now.
Price calling.
He just immediately called up the council, didn't he?
M-O-N.
A connection.
A connection. Why would you think that?
I'm just saying it's worth a shot. That's all.
I don't see it that. I mean,
Seriously.
all of us, one person, Faith has had the
I mean, I see it, but
He said
Yeah, but we hung out
Faith has had the least contact
She
with.
seemed to be
Oh.
Xander just had to put that out there, didn't he?
I don't need to
Seriously.
say it like I got it before. They slept together.
he just wanted people to know.
He really did. Well, Willow was clearly still hurt by that, but I mean, I'm not surprised, and I don't blame her for. Even if she doesn't really still have feelings for him anymore, I can see why that would still be kind of hurtful to her. Oh, dang.
Yep, here she is. Consequence of that. She's still very in love with Xander.
Yeah, she's not just a little sad. I take that back. She's very messed up about this. Xander really did not have to even bring that up, though. That's the crazy part about it.
He just wanted to flex, man.
He really did.
That connection, it's just skin. I see. I want.
This does
I
not
take.
feel consensual at all.
That's what I was about to say. Like, what?
Oh my gosh. He
He
said,
looks
"No
so
way."
uncomfortable.
I could do anything to
Oh
you
my
right now if you
gosh.
want me to.
Faith is crazy. This is disturbing.
Oh, snap. Is she choking? Dang.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So she straight up would have killed this dude.
This just got so dark out of nowhere.
Like, she was really about to just kill Xander.
You're not much more than a child.
Oh my god.
Going down this path will ruin you. You can't imagine the price for true evil.
And Angel knows what he's talking about too. Oh my gosh, man, really? Oh my goodness. What is he doing? He just locked her up again.
By the order of the Watchers Council of Britain.
He's about to mess this up.
Now unlock these or I'll pop this guy's head like a grape.
Oh my gosh. Y'all should have just left her with Angel. Oh man, that looked like that hurt. This has been really cool to see this evolution of Faith over these past couple episodes though. It all started with her just telling Buffy, come on, let's go do some shoplifting basically.
I know. I kind of have an issue with Faith sharing my people. But she murdered someone and accused Buffy.
Oh,
And she
I love
hurt
how they cut
Xander.
to.
Yeah,
I
they
hate
cut
say
right
it,
to
but maybe she
Xander.
belonged.
What can I do? I want to help.
Still got your ticket back to the mother country?
That would be the best thing for real, because everything he tries to do, he just messes stuff up. Ooh. If only that was holy water. Mr. Trick really getting out here in the field.
For real.
Oh my god, she's just whipping her around. What is Faith doing?
And then she's just watching.
Oh no.
He said, oh.
No, this is no good at all.
Mr. Trick!
What? Are you kidding me? That's a disappointment.
Like, all his people are just dying.
I thought he might be, what with you standing here and all.
I guess that means you have a job opening.
Dun dun dun. Wow, okay.
Wild episode.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Oh man, so many things. Faith, I mean, unless she's, the immediate thing on my mind, unless she's like doing this as like to get more intel on the mayor, then that taste for death, like Angel said, I guess she just likes it. And I mean she really did almost kill Xander, so I mean I could see how working with the mayor would be like the next logical step for her.
Yeah, I'm sure that would provide her plenty of opportunities to feel, fulfillment in her work position if she were to go to that job. This episode felt like it got pretty dark at sometimes, actually. Just watching, I mean, the declination of faith, whatever you want to call it, like just how quickly it seems like, I mean, she's always been really, she's told the line, like she said, she's been edgy, she's been a bit of an anti-hero, but it felt like this episode, like it just went whoop. Like the end of last episode was an indicator when she said she doesn't care, but then I was still like, well, maybe she's just saying that to herself, but it's like after this episode, it just feels like she's gone completely to the dark side.
Yeah, seriously, she really thinks that she can live above the law just because she's a slayer and like cause she's got to take out bad guys. I mean, honestly, her morals are just not intact at all. Like, just from base, she set. I'm just tripping on how she set Buffy up that whole time. Like, I feel like that was her plan at the whole time, was to like get Buffy to not say anything and then just lie on her like that. There's no. I mean, it just felt like it was gonna, and I feel like if it wasn't her plan, as soon as that detective got on her, that was her next best solution, was to just tell on Buffy and be like, hey, this is what she did.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. I think, like you said, it got too hot and she was like, okay, gotta come up with another plan, and that's when she decided to push things on Buffy.
There were certainly a lot of consequences, as the title foreshadowed. We had the consequence of them killing, or of Faith killing somebody, the consequence of and I think those consequences were both for Faith and Buffy, but mostly there were a lot of consequences for Faith. Then there were the consequences of Xander sleeping with Faith, and the consequences of Buffy hanging out with Faith so much, Willow kind of still being, and they didn't explore that too much, because I mean, like, they kind of got back together and they kind of made friends again and all, which I wasn't too mad at, because they did have quite a bit, they did seem to go into a lot this episode, so I feel like that would have been kind of an excessive subplot if they would have like kept her mad or upset or whatever.
Yeah,
but I guess it would have also made Buffy feel a little bit more isolated.
Yeah. Good point. Well, overall, I really enjoyed this episode, and what I liked about this episode and what they've been doing more this season, I liked how this episode, the way that they introduced the theme and concept that we're thinking about, was really just through the character's situation and like what Faith had done, for instance, in this situation. And we talked earlier about how much this makes you question, okay, so like, is there any leeway there, and does she have the right to do that? Which obviously I think the answer is no. And they're just bringing up all these kind of questions of morality and power and responsibility and whatnot here. And usually they would do that via a monster, and they would do that via like, a high school problem and stuff like that. But it kind of, you can already tell like the show is starting to take a bit of a more mature kind of route now, because now instead of using these monsters to personify these themes and these life issues. They're using the characters themselves and the situations to present something that's actually pretty dark and serious, but also can work on a much more macro level than just the situation at hand here, because this is a question that can apply to all Slayers and just people in general. And it's hard not, when I watch this episode, to also just think about how this can apply in the real world, like with police brutality and things like that. And Buffy's kind of question of, okay, so do I turn Faith in? Like, because, you know, a big thing nowadays is people talking about police officers holding each other accountable and whatnot. And, you know, not all cops are bad, but you're being just as bad if you're allowing the people that you're working with to get away with doing certain things. So I felt like it was a big issue of like accountability here. And, you know, like Buffy, even though she didn't actually do it, her still needing to take a level of responsibility as well. So I just felt like there were so many layers to this, and the fact that they did it all just through the characters and not even using a monster this time was just a different approach for the show, and I thought it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you can answer this question because you've already seen it, but do you think that Faith is really like aligning herself with the mayor, so like now like a bad guy, or do you think that she's just doing this for like a to like get more intel and help out?
I don't want to answer the question because I've seen the show before, so I don't want to answer it. But what do you think?
To be honest with you, I think Faith is just a bad person now, a bad guy now. I mean, she really if Angel would not have stopped her, she would have killed Xander. Like I really thought she was gonna. I was thinking that during that whole scene, I'm like, all right, she's just playing around. She's just trying to scare him, you know. Like she's really gonna just like let him up and then like tell him to get the fuck out. But like nah, she really was just she wanted to kill him, and if Angel wouldn't have stopped him, he would have just been dead. Like I would have been. Oh, the one thing I didn't. Speaking of dead, I'll tell you about that after. But like yeah, so I think Faith is definitely. I mean, I think Angel kind of predicted it. Like once you get a taste for it, you kind of just want to do it again. And I think she got a taste for it. And I don't think she had the psyche enough to like. I mean, if she would have just accepted the fact that she made a mistake, but she has way too much pride. She has so much hubris, man. Like excessive pride. Like just to the point where it's like it's just terrible how much pride she has. So she couldn't. If she would have just accepted that she did it and just accepted the consequences, like. I feel like things would have been okay, and like she could have just moved from that and kind of grown as a person. But she really refused to. She for the whole episode, she was trying to deny the fact that she did it, or for most of the episode, she was trying to deny to everybody that she even did it, even though everybody literally knew it was her that did it. You know what I'm saying?
So you say that you do think that Faith is actually evil. So my next question for you would be: do you think that there's any room here for redemption for her, both from a writing standpoint within the show, like can she be redeemed in the eyes of the audience, and from a character standpoint, can she redeem herself?
I'm just gonna be honest. For me, it's gonna be very hard to redeem herself. Like I'm barely. Xander has barely redeemed himself for me, and he didn't even really. I mean, he did something, but like he didn't do something as bad as killing somebody. So like. I just feel like it would take a lot for her to really just be like, for her to be back in good, and she was never really in good graces with me, to be honest. Like you said, like I've never really been a big fan of Faith. Like I'm just not. I think she's just, her ego is just too big, and it needs to be checked. Like somebody needs to take her down a few pegs. So like if she can get her ego and her pride in check, then maybe I would be able to say that she could be redeemed. But for me, I don't see it happening. But I mean, they have really good writers on Buffy, so if anybody could do it, I feel like they could. Trick died, and I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like his character was underused as a mofo on this one in this season. They played it off in the beginning like he was gonna be the big bad of the season, and I'm not necessarily. I'm not saying he wasn't, but he was really just the mayor's errand boy, and I didn't like that. I wanted him to have his own because he had his whole plan to I guess
He was
what's
doing the
word?
whole internet thing and
Yeah,
all that, and
yeah,
building
to
the
like
infrastructure,
digitize
to send the bodies across.
Yeah, so you could get
seas.
blood in like a
Yeah.
convenient and fast way. And I mean, like, it sounded crazy, but like, I mean, hey, like, I've seen crazier things on Buffy, so like, I mean, I thought he was gonna pull that off and maybe do something like that, but they literally never circled back to that, and they just killed him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that you said that Joss Whedon wanted to have a show where it's like anybody could go at any moment. So like, I'm not like too surprised, but I just am kind of upset that that's how they did that.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there that he definitely did feel underused, just in the sense of not even of it feeling like maybe it seemed like something was about to happen and it didn't happen, but it really did just feel like there was so much that could have happened that if it did happen, it would have been a great addition to the show. But, you know, I mean, I guess they had other stuff in mind, and like you said, they have great writers, so they probably still know where they're going from here, and they can pull it off either way. But it definitely did feel like there was so much they could have done with him that they didn't do. Okay, here's a few facts about Buffy Season 3, Episode 15, Consequences. Although credited, Seth Green does not appear in this episode. The actor was away filming his scenes as Scott Evil in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Snagged Me. Alright, so that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought about the episode. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, I'm Anthony, and that's
Kyland.
and we'll see you all later.